So this video will be a M1911 in Black Ops 3 review, and I've got to say this at the start of the video, and I know most people will probably say this, but it really does annoy me when people don't understand this. This is subjective. This is a opinion, okay? If you don't agree, leave it down in the comment section below. That's completely fine. I just don't want people to think I'm stating facts, because these are not facts that I'm stating. I mean, if I said, like, maybe the gun does less damage or something like that, that's obviously a fact. But what I'm trying to say is if I say I don't like this of the weapon, or I don't like the reload, let's say, then that's just subjective. That's just, you know, an opinion. So if you like parts of the weapon, maybe you love this weapon, maybe you hate this weapon, I don't know, just put it down in the comment section below. We'll do, because there's 4 M1911s, World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3, I want you to do a top 4 and just put your best one in each spot. So number 1, what do you think's the best, what do you think's the second best, third, and then the worst. So yeah, if you'd do that, that'd be cool. And anyway, let's get into the review. So starting off, I'm going to name a few bad things about this weapon, but then I'll go on to a few positive things, because there's both on either spectrum, and I feel like there's a bit more worse things, to be honest, but that doesn't make it a bad weapon whatsoever, because the bad things are not really a big change, besides one, which I'll go into depth now. And that one bad point is the fire rate of this pistol. I didn't realise it when I first got in, so you may think it's not really a problem, but then I watched a video, and it actually said that the fire rate is worse than the Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and World at War M1911s, and I was like, is it? And then I go test it out again, and it clearly is slower, and I didn't realise this before, I don't know why, which I think is stupid. It's a bit stupid in my opinion, and I feel like this is the only fact I can give. The rest of it will be opinionated, but it's a fact that it's slower. That's not an opinion, it's just straight up fact, because there's no way you can turn around and go, well, it's faster than the other ones, in my opinion, but it's not really an opinion at the end of the day, it's fact. But yeah, so it's got 500 RPM, I'm pretty sure, where the other two in Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 have got 650 maybe, if I can remember correctly, and I know the one in World War's got 800 and something, so all you really need to know is it's slower, and I feel like they should increase this. I think they've done that just to make a bit more balance to the game, but the game doesn't need balancing anyway. I feel like it's already out of balance, and even if it is in balance, it's in balance because all the weapons are OP AF. We've got Deadwire that you can even get on Wonder Weapons now, we've got the Thunder Gun, a Popcorn Serpent, so to make a gun worse than it used to be, when basically every other gun in zombies now is better than it used to be, it's a bit odd in my opinion. I feel like they will change that, I feel like that's something they could change, but we'll have to wait and see. Also, the sound of this weapon, in my opinion, and like, I've got to say this every single time, in my opinion, is disgusting. I don't like it at all. As soon as I got into the game, as soon as I live streamed it yesterday, shot the pistol, didn't like it, but yet again, you may like it. To me, it sounds like a BB gun, maybe edging a paintball gun, something like that, but you know, I don't think it sounds like a, if you will, a real gun. I'm not sure really what to say there, but it doesn't sound like a pistol, in my opinion. Maybe a BB pistol, maybe like, I don't know, something along those lines, but to me it doesn't sound like a gun that would actually do any damage at all. It just sounds like a toy that I could own, and I live in the UK. It doesn't actually sound like a real gun at all. But yet again, this is subjective. Also, the recoil on this gun, not the greatest fan of. I don't know why, it just doesn't feel like it has any recoil. Now, maybe this is just me, because I've not used the M1911 in the older games for a while. I don't think I've played Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 or World at War. World at War the longest, and then Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 I don't think I've played in the past maybe 2 months, which I really need to get onto and play. My Xbox 360 is technically broken at the minute, so I say technically, I can go on it, but it goes off after 30 minutes. But I digress. So long story short, I'm trying to say that it may be just because I've not used the other ones in a while, but this M1911 just feels like it doesn't have as much recoil as them ones. Now maybe that's just my mind playing tricks on me, or maybe I'm being correct in saying that it doesn't have that much recoil than it used to, and maybe you prefer that. And I know a lot of people would normally prefer that, but it just doesn't feel like less like a gun. It just makes it feel less like it actually does anything at all. When I shoot that gun, I expect it to, you know, just do nothing. I could shoot a zombie in the head and they would die, and I'd be like, they died because they got shot by a BB bullet. Why are they dead? I mean, that's not obviously what I think. I obviously know it's a game and it's not, but still, you know, it's a bit odd for me to have a gun that they're trying to replicate a real life gun. The M1911 is a real gun, and it just doesn't sound anything like it. I mean, they might say it's a futuristic version of that weapon, but it doesn't seem to me like any part of that is in the real gun. I've actually seen clips of the real gun being fired, and they don't sound anything alike. Maybe it's because I'm watching it from YouTube, not actually experiencing it, but the M1911 that was in like World War II, and then that gun, I mean, like, you could make an argument it's a futuristic version, which does look a bit more futuristic. It's got the green bits on the top, but in my opinion, it's kind of, you know, died down a little bit, and I'm not a big fan of the recoil, and, you know, I'm not too bothered if they don't change it. It's not the biggest thing. I'd rather them change the sound, and definitely the RPM. I don't know why they changed that in the first place, but it's just something to, you know, pick at, if you will. Now obviously the first good part about this weapon I've got to say straight off the bat is thank you, chat. Just thank you for giving us this weapon. I don't want to bash on this weapon too much because this is a weapon that I've wanted and I've been waiting for, and I don't know, like yesterday for example, I wasn't even going to live stream. I live streamed in the morning, but I wasn't going to live stream at night, and I didn't have a live stream planned, but then I immediately live streamed as soon as the M1911 came out because I was so hyped for it. So the M1911, the AK-74U, I've got to say it for both guns, I appreciate it. We've got Zombies Chronicles, listen to the community. We've got the M1911, AK-74U, listen to the, you know, they're listening. Treyarch, the chances of you seeing this video, pretty slim, but I really appreciate that, and I don't want to bash on this too much. But one thing I do like about the weapon is it's actually called the M1911 for starters. I know a lot of these guns, like the FFAR and stuff like that, it's a very small change, a bit like the recoil, very small. I don't think it really needs changing that much, but if they can change it, that'd be cool. But the M1911, obviously the name, I don't want that to be changed, and that is cool. Like, it sounds like a stupid thing to bring up, but we've got the original Galil, we've got guns like that, the PPSH, if you will, and whether you think it's as good or as bad as the old one, that's an opinion, but we've got the FFAR, you know, we've got stuff like that. The Bowie knife is basically the next Shadow Claw. We've got guns in the game that are called something different, so the FFAR is clearly the FAMAS, and that's a prime example of weapons that are clearly something but are named something else, which I don't really like, to be honest. I mean, it's okay, and I guess it's futuristic, so that's cool, but I prefer them being named their actual name, if you will. Like I said, very small thing to bring up, but I really appreciate they've done that. Also the Mustang and Sally's, I don't like the sound really of the Mustang and Sally's, I've got to say that as well, but I just don't like the sound of the gun in general. Now, back onto the good points. It still feels to me like an M1911. I know I've said the recoil's a bit air and the RPM, which I didn't notice at the first, but it has got a lower fire rate than the other M1911s, and of course it's got the little green tint on it, and of course I don't like the sound, but it still feels like an M1911. I'll be 100% honest, and I prefer it more than the MR6. Now, you may say I'm jumping on a bandwagon for this, and I probably am jumping on a bandwagon for this, but I prefer the M1911, it doesn't matter what state it's in, than the MR6 any day, but it's probably just nostalgia talking there. They're very similar weapons, if not the same weapon, but it's just nostalgia talking, and I'd rather have the Mustang and Sally's than the Def and Texas. But like I said, subjective opinion. Maybe you like the MR6. I know a few people who like the MR6 better, but it's probably because they came in maybe around Shadows. I didn't come in when the game first came out back in World at War. Me, personally, I joined Zombies at 5 in Black Ops 1, so technically the start of Black Ops 1. Now, after completing the campaign, you go into 5, yada yada yada. Let's stop going on about my Zombies history and let's just get back into this. So that's basically going to be it. And now you may think I shitted on this weapon more than I actually gave good points about this weapon, which I kind of did, but I really like this weapon. Now you've got to understand that I don't hate this weapon by any means. I'm just stating out facts, or opinions I should say, and facts about stuff for this weapon that I just don't like and I feel like needs changing, but I really like this weapon. This weapon, they've added it in, and I've got to say once again, thank you Treyarch for adding this in. Didn't think they would add anything like this, and didn't think DLC 5 would come out. They've got DLC 5, we've got this, you know, what else is in store? Because I feel like they'll add more things in, maybe not guns, because it'll get to the point where there's too many guns. There's probably like 40 guns on some of the maps already, if not more, so, you know, I don't think they'll add in any more guns, if not 1 or 2, but I hope they add in other things. I think the next step is adding in PhD Flopper. I mean, it'll be difficult, and I don't think they'll actually do it, because Widow's Wine is, I think Widow's Wine's a better perk, but PhD Flopper's just fun, and I want to use them Mustang and Sally's, but it's just difficult with danger closest. But yeah, so next stop, PhD Flopper, let's hope. Don't think it'll happen, but yeah, hope you enjoyed this. This was my little review on it. I know I talk fast, okay, so hopefully you actually understood the words that I was saying throughout this video, but thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you, and goodbye.